Hello and welcome. Today I'm gonna tell you about our two audit readiness modules, A and B, and how you can use these training modules together with the CyberJuice platform to prepare for your audit. So first I'm gonna just show you what's in these modules so you know what to expect, what you're gonna learn, show you the checklist that you can check you have everything ready before your audit, and of course how to use the CyberJuice platform to prepare for your audit. So let's get into the learning modules first. So if you have already done our 6 onboarding modules, you know the structure of this. It's a video learning course together with doing things inside the platform, and then finally at the end of each module you send a little form, fill out this little quick questions to your coach, and you can have a check-in with your compliance coach. So in module A, you're going to see, well, in both modules, if you just did the onboarding modules, you're going to see that this is mostly repetition, and you can just check that, oh, we already did this, we're ready to go. Or if you missed anything you didn't quite complete, you have the opportunity to review and do that now. If it's a while ago since you did the implementation and onboarding modules, then you might have a little bit more work to do here, or at least review that you have everything ready. So it's just going to take you through what are the important things to have ready before the audit. So things like the year wheel, did you do all your recurring tasks? Statement of applicability, which is very important for the auditor, and doing an internal audit is also a mandatory thing. So this is module A, and then we have a little webinar we recorded with one of our auditors. So if you're curious to see what they say about going to a first audit, you can have a look at that. It's optional. So most of the work is in audit module A. In module B, we focus on the management review, which is also an important and mandatory thing to do before you go to the audit. So we focus on that in module B, and then what is it actually an auditor will look for. So if this is your first audit, it's a really good idea to watch this video and see what is this even about, how should I think about an audit before you go into it. So that's our learning modules, and here's our checklist. You can see what is it actually that you need to check up on and have in place. Well, like I said, it's the year wheel items, everything in your recurring task. If they are due, have they been completed? Ensure that policies are approved, that you've done your annual awareness training, and that you have records for that. That's very important. And if you have any close the gaps, as we call them, one-time task, confirm there's a deadline and accountable for those. So these comes from risk treatment actions, or if you have something in your policy that needs implementation and has not been implemented yet, this is where you can record it. So auditors really like to see that you have a plan, that you have a good overview of what has been done, what still needs to be done, and what's the plan to do it. This is what they're looking for. So if you have something, it's fine that it's not completed yet, but just that you're able to show we have it organized, and we know who's responsible, and we know when we're going to do it. That's what they will look for, and they'll be very happy to see that you have a plan. And of course, when they come the year after, that you are also following through on your plan, or can show that maybe you have a good reason that you change your plan. Then the statement of applicability, very important document for the auditor, and you find it under requirements in the platform. Here you can have some controls that are marked not applicable. Just make sure you always justify with a note if that is the case. And short notes are enough. You don't always need a full policy. Just make sure you have gone through all controls to check that it's correct, and they have a note if they don't have a policy already. And then you do the internal audit and the management review to make sure you have records of that. All of this is explained in details in the module A and B videos. So for your checklist here, you can see most of this if you go into the platform under Audit Readiness. You have a nice overview. When we come in here to the Audit Readiness module, you see like an aggregated score up here, and the higher the score, the better. But it's not necessary to get 100 points before you go to the audit. You can see here it says we are not ready yet. We are in the red zone, and it's mainly because we did not complete our cyber task, which means we did not create our policies yet. And also we didn't do our employee onboarding. So those are the two main contributors. When the auditor actually comes, you can download all documentation for him or her, or you can let them have a user access in the platform. Typically, they do like to have at least a statement of applicability as a downloaded document because they like to store that. So it's really up to you if you just want to like give them, for example, policy, statement of applicability, risk, or just download everything and give it to them. You can talk to your auditor about how they prefer to do it. But here you have everything in a format that's easy to share. So first we have here cyber task. This is where you create your policies. So all your policies should, of course, be ready before you go to the audit. And one-time task, this is the close the gap where you record if you promise something, make a commitment in your policy, but you didn't implement it yet. For example, you say we want antivirus on all our laptops, but you did not implement that yet. You record it in a one-time task. And all of these tiles, by the way, you can click them and it will send you to the right place. Controls, that's a statement of applicability. And then here we can quickly see, did we approve all the policies or are we waiting for someone? Then we have the year wheel, recurring events. So here we can see if we have anything that's overdue, we should definitely fix that before the auditor comes. Or if we didn't put a due date. Again, it's good to show that you have a plan. So let's say you just got started with implementing your ISMS, Information Security Management System. Of course, you haven't been through the whole year wheel yet because it hasn't been a year. But if you can show that you have a plan, when are you going to do this next time, that is something that the auditor will like. Risk treatments, if you have medium or high risk, you should definitely have a plan for how to mitigate them. So that's what the treatment means, is that you have a treatment for your medium and high risk. In this example, I only have one risk. You are obviously going to have more than one. And of course, if you have a high risk, it's not, it doesn't make sense to plan to fix it next year. Usually, you would say high risk, you need to start treating it as soon as possible. So when the auditor comes, it's not like we're going to do this in 6 months. For medium risk, it's typically fine to plan it for later if you need to. Again, everything is risk-based, so high risk would expect to fix soon. Then we have asset management and user or employee onboarding, where they get the first training and you can ask some security questions for them. And policy awareness, so this is part of your training. You do a general awareness training with our free course for all employees. And then policy awareness is where you train employees in the specific policies, the habits that they need to have. So this is also something that we recommend that you at least start doing before the auditor comes. So you can show that employees are actually trained in the policies, they have knowledge about what's in the policy, what they should know about the policies, because the auditor will look for, this is not just some paper that someone wrote and the organization is ignoring what it says. They will actually check that the reality in the organization is aligned with what the policies are stating. So this is where this our habit surveys become very, very powerful. And then you can collect evidence linked to the statement of applicability controls and the year wheel task. And this is something you can ask your coach about if you need some help with what to put in here. It's also possible to just wait and see what the auditor is asking for and then collect the evidence at that point. That is totally possible as well.